Hey Goobs, it's me Jiv, aka the first recommended today for some apparent reason. So, in today's video we're going to look at quite an interesting topic, and that is the top 5 most rare Fursona species. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this actually took a while to make through, well, my normal times to make a video and for research and everything like that, but for research alone it was actually quite a long time. And now, I was thinking that there would have been like a list or a graph or something like that, for like most rare Fursona species. No, not at all. I actually had to try and dig it out myself to try and find the top 5 most rare Fursona species. Now, I'm not going to say that this is definitely, known as fact, but when I've tried to look for Fursona species, these do seem to be the most rare in my opinion. Now, the best way how I've done this is just going through searches, like searches and stuff, and just doing my best, and I've picked out these 5 because I think these are deemable as actually the most rare, in my opinion anyway. So, I'm not going to say this is a full-on fact video, but to the best I can, scraping at the bottom of the barrel here. So without that, let's begin. Okay, so the first one on the list, which is actually the one that I was most surprised about, is sloths. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I can kind of see a little bit why it's a little bit rare. I mean, sloths aren't the first thing that comes to someone's mind, even just the spirit animal sort of thing, which, obviously, but it's kind of a bit of a shock because I'm pretty sure sloths just in media alone are quite known. I mean, shit, they're literally in Zootopia, aka the fairy movie, so just a little bit surprising. I mean, to be honest though, I can understand why people wouldn't, but at the same time, I'm surprised no one actually just jumped onto this train as much as I thought. They're not, like, necessarily the rarest, but they are definitely deemable on this list. I never really see a sloth Fursona, I've never seen one ever, and when I look around it just doesn't seem to be common, like really, really rare. Okay, so for the next Fursona species is anglerfish. Now, anglerfish, I'm not much surprised about. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the only time I've actually heard of an anglerfish is in SpongeBob. I'm not even kidding, and I think it was the movie or something like that, I forgot. But it was literally like something way at the back of my head that I never thought about. And even better yet, I kind of forgot these guys even existed in the ecosystem. I'm not even joking. Like, these guys are definitely like highly rare. I mean, in my opinion, 100%, like I've never seen an anglerfish Fursona ever. I mean, I think they'll go pretty hard though. I think they'll go pretty amazing, but it just seems like there's not going to be like many because, well, the obscurity. But at the same time though, I think it's an underrated Fursona, and I actually would recommend people to, well, encourage them to pick it up. It's actually a pretty cool Fursona species in my opinion. Okay, so for the third one, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually kind of shocked a little bit, but not really, and that is crabs. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the crab Fursona species, you don't ever think of that, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I can understand why people haven't really thought about it. I mean, unless you got like a hyperfixation on crabs, no one's going to really think of it. I mean, maybe it could go pretty hard as a Fursona, like a pretty cool Fursona. I mean, they don't look very appealing. I know that sounds very rude, but like, in real life, I mean, they don't look very appealing. So, it's kind of obvious why people don't really pick this Fursona species, but at the same time, it is deemable as definitely rare, 100%. I think also with crabs, well, this is like a way out, like tinfoil hat conspiracy theory to why, and I think it's more of like because it's a sea animal, and I think sea animals don't really get much appreciation in like Fursonas and stuff. I mean like literally 3 of these on the list are sea animals, I'm not gonna lie. And it's kind of like showing a bit of a underappreciation for them, but like either way, it's kind of how it goes. But it's also with the fact of not many people like thinking about like the aqua life, I guess, when it comes down to Fursona species, which is kind of understandable, I suppose. You don't really see like anthropomorphic like whales or sharks in like medias such as like films and stuff, so I guess you can see it as quite plausible and understandable to why they're not really known or kind of rare as a whole. Okay, so the next one on the list, I'm actually not gonna lie, I'm not even surprised at all about this one because, well, it's kind of obvious, and that is blobfish. Now, if you don't know, the only times I've even known about a blobfish was like a meme back in 2018. Like that's literally it. I don't even remember much about what a blobfish looked like until I researched it again recently, and I was like, oh, right, it's that ugly thing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna go beat around the bush. It kind of looks pretty ugly. It looks like, you've shot its dog, so, I don't know, it just makes it feel a bit uncomfortable. I mean, that's like my first reaction to when I looked at one recently. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do think it is definitely not the rarest, but probably in the definitely top 5 category. There's not really much to say about this. Like, again, it is another sea animal, so I'm not too shocked that it's not far much lower on the list, because, well, it is, aqua life again. But I think it's also the fact of how it looks as well, because to me, not gonna lie, never ever really looked at one as like thought, okay, that's a pretty cool Fursona species, I'm gonna take that up. Like, no, I want to look at it, I'm like, what is that? Is that like a specimen? Like, honestly, those are the first thought processes coming to my mind. I didn't even think it was an animal. I thought it was just like a lab experiment. I know that sounds so mean, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say like top 5 most rare, or like the most rare Fursona species, because I'm gonna make it a bit of a story of this, because I didn't even expect this. I didn't even know this was an animal. I didn't even know nothing about it until this Reddit post. So when I was searching about, the most rare Fursona species, I stumbled on a Reddit post which obviously said, what is the most unique Fursona species you've ever seen? And obviously I looked into the comments, because the comments would obviously answer that, and it was from a user called Void Lizard from a year ago saying, I want to say I've seen a blue dragon lizard slug, which, before I carry on with this, I didn't even know this existed. I thought it was like a hybrid Fursona, but it isn't. And I'm actually more shocked about that, because it sounds like a hybrid Fursona, but it isn't. But then he continues by saying, but I can't remember where. Non-shark / dolphin / ochra sea life is very rare, which is what I said in the video. And when I actually looked it up as like an animal species as a whole, I got this, which, I'm not gonna lie, seems to be definitely a real species just in general. And it states by the blue sea dragon, sea swallow, blue angel, blue... I'm not going to continue with that shit, I'm not going to lie. Like, this is probably the most unique Fursona species I have ever heard of, because I'm very sure it's like a very, 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 like, small percent, like, you picking this because, well, who the hell's thinking of this, like, at all? Like, even if you, like, looked at this, you'd probably never think it was a species at all. You'd probably find something out your dreams or some shit. I mean, it is so, like, well picked out. This has to be, like, in my opinion, someone's, like, hyperfixation or something, which I'm not hating at all. I think that's kind of cool. And better yet, I think this Fursona species is actually pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. It does look pretty fire. But I'm not gonna lie, when I looked this Fursona up, well, not Fursona, but the species up as a whole, I didn't even know this existed at all, and in fact, I'm kind of shocked. I mean, I'm not too shocked though, because it is literally like a slug, a sea slug, so, no one's ever gonna think of that. I mean, shit, I didn't know sea slugs existed. Well, I think I did, but, my brain switches on and off, alright? Give me a break. So, through my analysis of all the Fursonas, I think this is the most rare Fursona ever. I mean, dude, we don't even have a picture of this, it's just from someone's comment, but I'm going to take the word for granted. Personally, I do think there is a Fursona species out there that is like that. I mean, shit, you guys can do the Googling if you want, and most likely there is. But, in my opinion, this has been a very, very, very fun video to make, and I've actually kind of enjoyed it. Which, it was kind of like a treasure hunt, sort of, you had to go find it yourself, which I obviously enjoyed doing. So I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Anyways, I'm gonna disappear now. Okay, bye.